Welcome, and thank you for joining the Society for Clinical Research Sites for SCRS Talks. I'm Jimmy Bechtel, Vice President of Site Engagement with the Society. SCRS Talks allows our partners and those we work closely with to take a few minutes to address issues of industry concern, share exciting achievements, and learn about our community. In this installment, we're going to have Adam Wyckoff, the Director of Product Management of Clinical Trials with H1 and one of our newest global impact partners, talk about their experience joining SCRS. Let's take a moment to meet Adam. Adam, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Hi, I'm Adam Wyckoff. As Jimmy said, I'm our Director of Product here at H1. I've been working in healthcare and technology for over 8 years. I graduated from Emory University Gosweda Business School. My career has been very focused on health technology, and for the better part of the last 5 years has been focused on clinical trials. So I'm very excited to be here with you guys and in this brand new partnership.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. And we're at SCRS very excited to have you as part of our community, as one of our global impact partners. So can you tell our listeners about your organization, H1, and why H1 decided to become a GIP?
Here at H1, we're a single source of truth for healthcare professionals. And so that means a lot of things to a lot of different people. But in reality, we help to connect trials to people, to institutions in the most seamless way. And so on my product line, the trial landscape, we streamline data-driven clinical trials. We combine those proprietary, private, and public sources to create one clear picture of the trial landscape so that you can better understand principal investigators, sites, as well as increase diversity and inclusion within trials. We help you to better understand the competitive landscape and stay up to date on that side of it. We're helping to profile and analyze the most relevant principal investigators as well as those sites. And so that kind of takes me to the second half of this, which is why we're excited on this partnership. And why we're excited on this partnership is because, simply put, we want to learn more about the trends and challenges of current sites. We want to understand that user and that user base and really start to empathize and better understand the problems they're facing so that we can create our solution to help those sites put their best foot forward.
Excellent. And any site listening will know how important and valuable recruitment assistance can be. So thank you. And thank you for the space that you sit in. It's really exciting to have you as part, again, of our community. But speaking of sites, sustainability is the #1 priority of SCRS and our partners. Why does H1 feel listening to the site voices is important for clinical research? What does that mean to you all?
Yeah, so I think that the biggest thing that I would say here is I look at this all from the product management lens, and part of product management and probably the biggest part of product management is user empathy. So really understanding our users, and we look at sites and investigators and all of that as part of those users. So really understanding the problems that they face, the trends, the challenges, both from a site and company perspective. We want the chance to learn from each on these important topics and help you to kind of solve those problems on the ground. I think, from the product side, I'm always addicted to that process of learning the problems, ingraining myself in what it means to be a site, what it means to be an investigator. And so for us, this is everything we want and more. We really want to get that direct contact there.
Absolutely. And, I'll be honest with you, Adam, it's not a word we hear often. People skirt around it and say different variations of it, but you said it right at the beginning. Empathy is really huge for our global impact partners. So on behalf of the sites, thank you for taking that perspective. Excellent. Great. And that's fantastic to hear. So thank you for sharing that perspective. What initiatives or programs is your organization working on that you are most excited about, and how are those going to impact sites?
Yeah, so this isn't going to be anything new, but the biggest thing that we are focused on is diversity in clinical trials. I spend every waking hour. We just got out of a meeting for, with our executive team on how we can better display diversity data within our product and in the space. We understand all the different trends here. I think that we're in a very unique place where we actually can bring together a lot of these data sources to better showcase not only doctors that are treating a diverse patient population, but providers themselves that come from a diverse background and sites themselves that are treating a diverse background to kind of help to solve that problem. Because we know this is, top of mind within industry and that this is kind of plaguing the clinical trial space as a whole.
Exactly. And, diversity, you're right. It's nothing new, but it is top of mind for a reason, right? It's important to the industry right now. So it's an excellent focus, even if it is not unique. So that's just as valuable.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the big thing that I would like to say there is I would read a lot of I was reading this book recently about the difference between motion and action. Motion is reading about it and, doing all that stuff. I think here at H1, we're taking action on a lot of these pieces to actually make a difference. In our product, you're able to actually search for who are analyzing the people who have that diverse perspective, patient population, the sites that have that diverse patient population, the trials themselves that are actually doing that. So, I'm really excited about all of that we've done to actually make that a reality, especially on the patient and provider side.
Excellent. And I agree with and resonate with what you're saying about motion and action. That's a really important perspective. So what do you see for the future of your relationship with SCRS, Adam, and through that, the relationship you have with the sites?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we see this as a long-term partnership where we're really able to get in the weeds here, understand those problems, the trends in the space. We always want to stay up to date on what are the biggest initiatives for given sites, what are different ways that we want to showcase this data. I think that the future of this is we learn from your members as well as from other industry partners, and we continue to keep that empathy top of mind because understanding your pain today could not be that same problem tomorrow, and so we want to ensure that we're at the forefront of all of that, keeping sites at top of mind and keeping that partnership whole. And I think that the future looks like we spend time in person. I read a lot about all the different in-person events and conferences, as well as these different summits. And then, also continuing to do talks and keeping that line of communication open. So, I envision the future as a place where, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but a site can actually use H1 as kind of their up-to-date CV, and that they can, input and understand how life sciences is viewing them from the outside, so that they can actually get the right sites with the right trials to deliver the right patient results for a given clinical trial.
Absolutely. And looking into that, the side of the relationship that isn't necessarily visible in regularity to the community is huge and unique in a lot of different ways. As we begin to close here, Adam, I want to ask, what advice do you have for sites that are interested in working with you? And with that, how can they get in touch to learn more about the programs, initiatives, or products and services that your organization provides and is involved in?
The advice that I would have for sites, I think it's understand your digital footprint, understanding what information you're putting out there on your website through these different, registries and different sources. Also taking inventory of better being able to categorize your patient population. So to understand, take advantage of a lot of these tools out there. Like I used to work for another company. I worked directly with like a lot of sites at Advocate Aurora and all of these other places. And partnering with the technology provider helped them to, better understand if they were really fit to handle a given study. And so, taking advantage of all of these different technology partnerships that they can put together in the space so that they can respond to the right studies and that they can take on the right studies and actually, be super successful in those studies, because success begets more success. So really, to summarize there, like understanding your digital footprint, partnering with technology providers when needed, better understand your patient population within a given site, and then what can you do within the H1 and like how can you reach out to us? Well, we want to hear from you directly. Like we plan to go to a lot of these summits and facilitate in a lot of these different talks. Obviously, I can leave my email address and that sort of stuff. I would love to hear from some of them directly, and we have heard from certain sites directly. So you can email me, and we can leave that in bio here. But we also have our H1 Explorer offering, which providers and sites can actually input their own information about their profile into our product. So be happy to demo and do anything of that nature. But that's also another piece to engage with us.
That's excellent, Adam. Well, thank you. Thank you for your commitment to the sites. Thank you for being here with us today and providing this information. It's really great to hear what the focuses are of the organizations that we partner with and why they have chosen to join SCRS. So again, thank you for that commitment. For those listening here on the line, make sure that you register for upcoming webinars and other SCRS Talks discussions by visiting our Learning Campus, as well as taking part in our publications for members in the publications section of our website, myscrs.org. We appreciate everyone's participation in today's program and look forward to having you join us for more great content. Thanks for listening. And Adam, thank you for your discussion today.
Absolutely. It was great to be here.